Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be focusing on glutes and calves. So I'm gonna take you guys along and I'm gonna be doing a voiceover throughout the whole process just so I can explain better. So personally me, I really like focusing on my stretching just because I do go heavier with my lower body. So that is just what you see me doing here. I'm doing some dynamic stretching just to really get my legs warmed up. And then I like to do these especially like for my hamstrings. Even though I'm not focusing on those today, it's still good to warm up the muscle. And I also started incorporating these workouts that I saw. So I like to do those. And these have been really good. And I noticed a big change in the way that I work out once I started doing these. So I focus on these and I kind of just like to take my time. This is why I like to do mainly like a 5-minute stretching. And then these are really good too. They focus on the groin. So as you can see there, I'm stretching it out, making sure that I don't pull anything, especially because I do start with hip thrust. And then you can see throughout the later process in the video. But this is just more stretching that I do, so just enjoy the process, and once I start doing hip thrust I'll get back to that. So for my glute days, I like to start with hip thrust, especially because that's more of a compound movement. So I do 2-3 sets of just warm up until failure, just to really get my glutes prepare for the actual weight itself. So I just here mainly have my hands focused on where the actual weight is going, and then I go ahead and go in with the 45 pounds. On a regular barbell hip thrust, I usually do around 2 plates and then I lower it to a plate and 25, but here in the machine I focus more on my range of motion. But yet again, I still do 4 sets until failure, and I just make sure that the weight itself is moving pretty good. And at this point, I was burning up. And then I move on to RDLs. RDLs for me have always been really good. There is 2 types of variations for RDLs. So here I'm doing the variation where I bend my knees a little bit more, that focus on the glutes. So as you can see here, really focusing on that range of motion. And for these RDLs, I do just 25 pounds on each side. Sometimes I do heavier, but in this case, I didn't have my belt, so I didn't want to, go super heavy. So I just stick with the 25. And here, these are reverse lunges. Honestly, these have been a game changer in my workouts. I started doing these a couple months ago. And I do elevated reverse lunges, 4 sets until failure, as you can see there. These are really good, and every week I go up in weight itself. So this week it was 65 pounds, so that's what I did. I did 4 sets until failure with the 65, and then there it goes. These are honestly really good, and I do them elevated just to focus more on the glutes, drop the weight, and then again I go back down with just my body weight, 4 sets again until failure. These are really good. Usually my body goes around 6 to 8, and then the other leg, really focusing on that body weight again, just to make sure I'm not just ego lifting. I actually want to make sure that I'm able to move the heavy weight, especially if I want to grow my lower body. So I focus a lot on making sure the weight itself moves really good. There we go again with the 65. As you can see, I love these. Once I started doing these, it has been like a game changer. So yes, just gonna keep focusing on these, make sure the weight is moving really good. You don't want to ever ego lift, especially for lower body. You want to make sure that the weight itself moves really good for the best glute process. So again, more body weight, once again until failure. So after I do reverse elevated lunges, I move on to step ups, and at this point my body is already like tired, but once again I still love to go heavy on lower bodies, so that's what I do. 4 sets again until failure. At this point I think I'm moving 40 pounds, I believe, so next week I would do 45, seeing how it moves. Once again, drop the weight, body weight until failure, and I do that for 4 sets. And lastly, for my glutes, I love to finish off with kickbacks. These really just give out for my glutes. So I end off with kickbacks. Once again, 4 sets until failure. I could usually go for around 6 to 8 reps. And then after I superset it with, I forgot what these are called, but these are really good. So go ahead and I drop the weight, and then I do that until failure. And I pretty much do the same thing to the other leg. So that's what you guys are going to see in a minute. Once again, 4 sets on the other leg till failure. And then I drop the weight. I think at this range I'm doing 30 pounds, really focusing on that range of motion. Once again, what I did with my right leg, I do with my left leg. As you can see here, it's going to cross over. And then I just kick back, and these are honestly so good. I love these. I started incorporating this superset a couple months ago. Lastly, I just finish off with calves. Honestly, calves for me is just a genetic, so that's what I'm really focusing on. It's just superset, superset, superset up until I just gas out. So that's what I'm doing. I usually do 25 to 45 pounds. And I just finish off my calves. So that's what I'm doing here. And then once again, I finish off with body weight until failure. Honestly, I love working on calves. So that's what I just do. As you can see here, more body weight until failure. Really focusing on getting rid of that loose fat and just having pure muscle. And that is pretty much all I do. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.